Welcome back to Living 757. On July 1st, a very important law is going to go effect here in Virginia, right, Quincy?
Yeah.
That law is going to require that every passenger in a vehicle buckles their seatbelt. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking to the mother behind that law who made it all possible. Let's welcome Christy King. Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much for joining us.
Yeah. We are excited to hear a little bit more about this law too.
Yes, you have become an advocate for seatbelt safety ever since you tragically lost your son. So, can you tell us about Christopher's story?
Absolutely. Christopher graduated from Jamestown High School here in Williamsburg back in 2020. And 2 weeks later, he was killed in a car crash. The
Ugh.
kids were hanging out down by the water, by the airport, and he was the first one driving, and he was fine. He's a great driver. The kids decided to take a drive in Julie's new Mustang convertible. So they went out and then they came back to the roads. They stopped a mile away from where they were hanging out, like you hear a lot with youth,
Hmm.
and everyone switched places. So Christopher jumped in the back seat, everyone else switched places, and then the driver decided that he was going to take off at 80 and a 35-mile-per-hour road. The driver was high, didn't have his glasses on, was on probation. Just the multitude of horrible choices. Came down the road, ran off the road, and hit the ditch. And that's when my baby Christopher was thrown from the car to his death.
Ooh,
It was the
wow.
one time he didn't buckle up. He had jumped in the back seat
Oh,
that took his life.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Thank
Yeah. Like that's one of those stories that as parents you never want to, have to number one hear, but also have to tell again. However, the on the other side of this, you are a part of advocating for a new seatbelt law, and this has been called the Christopher King seatbelt law. So you've been fighting for it. So can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. I'm so excited about it. I just started last summer with reaching out to legislators because I found out Virginia is the worst state in the country with seatbelt usage. So I knew something had to be done. So I started reaching out to the governor and other politicians. I spoke to over 40 House representatives and senators about how important it is to strengthen our seatbelt law that hasn't been changed since the 80s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
That work is being done to improve these things so it doesn't continue to happen again.
Yeah, especially considering the technology in cars has improved. You'd think the laws would, continually change to kind of fit.
Yeah.
Why is it so important that passengers, even in the back seat, and especially in the back seat, wear their seatbelts?
That's a great question. With Christopher, like I said, he jumped in the back seat of a convertible. If the lid would have been up, the top on the car, he would have become a projectile and seriously injured or killed one or more of the passengers in the car because he was not restrained properly. So it's not just about your choice to buckle up as an adult, it is about other people being safe in the car. And also, our kids look at the adults for the
Yeah.
example. So if the parent isn't buckling up in the front or even in the back, then the kids aren't going to either. So it is very important. A lot of people just don't think it is as important, but it is.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed, like taking Ubers and Lyfts, sometimes, well, like now, they have like a notification. So if you're sitting in the back, it's natural to get into an Uber and you sit in the back. But if you don't put the seatbelt on, then there's a notification that will pop up that says, please buckle up. So now, it's gone to the rideshare program. So I got to ask this, back in the day, seatbelts wasn't a law. Parents would have the kid riding on the, in the center console and in the back. How are the Virginians doing with the seatbelt usage these days?
Virginia is the worst state in the country for seatbelt usage for the second year in a row.
Ooh,
We are at 73% usage. The national average is 92%. So
wow.
we have a long ways to go. And our neighboring states, all of them have a primary seatbelt law, and they're in the 89 to 92% usage rate. So it is very important that we make changes to our current law.
Good, good, good. And Ashley, as you know, as being a Virginian more than me, Virginia is for lovers. Well, can we love putting on our seatbelts,
Yes.
Virginia? Okay. Thank you so much, Christy, for stopping by and for sharing your story. And we are joining you in this fight as you advocate for better seatbelt usage.
Yes, thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
No problem.